Hi, I'm talking about my fruit girls today.
I wanted to say that I'm also sick. I'm sick, so my voice sounds really bad right now, but I would like to talk about my fruit girls today. And so this is music in the background you're hearing, that's mine. Just a quick rundown of the main story points and beats of the story is that this world where the fruit girls exist is a personal hell of someone. It's what they fear the most and where they will go when they die, and it is where they went when they died, so it is quite a dark story, and it is quite I guess violent in some ways, but at the end of it all, it is supposed to be a comedy. It's supposed to be funny, lighthearted, and there are elements that are dark. But yeah, let's start with Verushka. Verushka is based off of dragon fruit. She's from a dragon fruit family, and she is also mixed with plum, which makes her super cool in the eyes of others, because in fruit girl land, they have very opposite social dynamics and social standards and social hierarchies than we do. Fruit girls are often more powerful and more impressive to other fruit girls the more terrifying they are, with color theory and with what's it called, shape language, I guess. There's a bunch of fruit hybrids, there's a bunch of fruit mixtures that just mix up with different types of animals they're also based off of at the end. But the main part is that fruit girls' social hierarchy is slightly based off of birds, except that because they don't reproduce sexually, they reproduce asexually. They don't have any reason to attract mates, so what they do instead is fearmonger. They try to get other people away from. They're very territorial, they are very selfish, and they are very violent, and they often eat their own children, eat everything, because they are fruit, and fruit are yummy to even the fruit. And they also just reproduce by just spitting seeds into the ground. Yeah, that's literally it. Those seeds will turn into fruit girls, and Verushka happens to be a fruit girl that actually died recently. Surrounding her death, there was a lot of speculation from other fruit girls because she was so high power that they were like, why did she kill herself? Why did she kill herself? Was she scared of something? Was she scared of someone? So they kept fear-mongering, they kept continuing to do that. But in the end, the most important part to know about the story is that she is still alive. She was a human was reincarnated into her body and replaced her mind. From our world, this human is a deadbeat dad. He's horrible, he's an alcoholic, and he's a fucking janitor, a subway janitor. So it's very much based on around feminism. The story is based around feminism because Verushka is a woman, and she's a woman who died, and this guy who's now entered her body is trying to live, but he's also regretting a lot of things he didn't do in his life. He didn't tend to his daughter, he abandoned his wife. He's just very much trying to make amends, but he cannot because this world is basically made to be violent. So yeah, that's Verushka's deal. She's basically a reincarnated man in a world just filled to the brim with things he hates. Things like cutesy and girly, and everyone's obviously a girl, so he's trying to learn the fact that his ideals come from very bad places, and him being patriarchy beforehand definitely led him to his death, because he eventually realizes he's not that different from Verushka. And that's why I constantly also refer to Verushka as still Verushka, because they're supposed to just be reflections of each other. Next up, we've got Rainich. Rainich is supposed to be based off of a frog. She's made out of lychees and cherries, so she's a mix of those fruits, but her family was very big, so she grew up around the character next to her, Naranx, who is based off of not cherries. She's based off of grapes and oranges, obviously. Naranx and Rainich were both kicked out of the family home because Rainich and Naranx just did not get along, and their family was very based on trying to uphold a sort of silent anger, a sort of intimidation tactic that did not involve immediate violence, and they broke that by just fighting each other. Rainich lost her half of her brain, not half of her brain, the top corner of her brain, and Naranx lost her entire tail. So Rainich is now slightly suffering from epilepsy. It only really gets triggered when she sees flashing lights, which is rare in this world because they don't really use electronics or electricity. They mainly use fire, which is already quite risky, but she does not involve herself with fire a lot for lighting, so she just lives in the dark most of the time. Naranx is based off of grapes and oranges, obviously. She is kind of based off of a lion. Her body is very unstable though because of the loss of her tail, because they use it the same way cats do for balance, and she basically has the equivalent of wobbly cat syndrome now. She just has no balance in her body. She constantly wobbles around, but she lives a good life. She's far better off than Rainich socially because she has purple in her color scheme, and her bones aren't as visible, which leads people to respect her more, because in this hierarchy there's also very much talk about bones being visible and stuff, your vital organs being visible to attack easier. And yeah, I'll be making a part 2 of this, so look forward to that. But in the end, I hope you enjoyed.